Hey YouTube, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Tamarica's Productions. I wanted to take a minute. I just stepped out of court, but we had a very interesting case that I kind of felt like would be a good topic for this video. And the topic of this video, as you can see, is they want you to be broke. We had a case today in court, and there were three Arab brothers in there, and one of the brothers was suing another brother because, well, two of the brothers was suing one brother. One brother was suing two brothers because the two brothers have fired the one brother. So according to the one brother who got fired, they can't fire me because we're all equal shareholders. So basically the moral of this story is these three brothers were making millions and millions and millions of dollars buying property and just starting businesses, right? And so one of the brothers was kind of just running amok with the money. He was just taking money out of the account and just buying whatever he wanted. He was buying $1 million homes and cars and just traveling all over the world, spending all kind of money on his wife. And so the other two brothers said, hey, you're running amok over here, so you're fired. So they fired him, right? So the other brother sued him in court. And what I found to be extremely interesting is that these brothers were saying that they had all of this money to buy these properties and set up these businesses. And they was just repeating a process, right? So I wanted to come and do this video because I want to share some secrets of the business with you that nobody taught me. I had to learn this on my own. And so one of the key intricate details of being wealthy in this country is you have to own a business, right? I used to do taxes for a lot of wealthy people, and one thing that they all had in common, they all owned a business. I used to do taxes for people that are poor. One thing that they all had in common, none of them owned a business. So the way that the government works is if you work for someone else, right? Let's say you work for McDonald's. You make $30,000 a year. The government taxes you on $30,000 a year. They said you made $30,000, boom. We're gonna take our money right off the rip, right off the top, and then they give you what's left over. Now, if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, you own your own business, the government says, hey, how much of that money did you make that you needed to run your business? Take out all the money that you needed to run this business, and then what's left over, we'll tax you on that. For example, I work for billion-dollar corporation, Fortune 500 companies, right? What they will do is, if let's say they have $500,000 left on their books at the end of the year, right? It's time to close the books, right? So they have about $500,000 left on their books. Now, they don't want the government to tax them on $500,000, so what they will do is they will book a conference meeting in Hawaii, right? And they will go to Hawaii for an entire week. They will have a meeting for 1 hour. And in that 1 hour, they ain't talking about nothing. Okay, I know I've been in the meetings. They ain't talking about nothing, right? After that meeting, they then will go and spend the rest of the time at the beach, shopping with their corporate credit cards, doing all of that. Now, the way that the government works, because this business is a corporation, and we'll get into the different structures of business. Because this business is a corporation, the government says, how much did you need to run the business? So here's the business saying, you know what, we needed to get to the airport, so we needed to take a limo, business expense. You know what, while we were at the airport, we were kind of hungry and a little parched, so we bought a drink, business expense. You know what, needed some gum, business expense, right? So you get where I'm going with this. So they come up with all of these different business expenses. Oh, I needed my hair cut because I needed to look good, business expense. You know what? I needed to get my suit dry clean, business expense. I needed some nice shoes, business expense. So you see where I'm going with this. So they have all of these business expense. So once they're done shopping, taking the limo, hanging out at the beach, eating the best foods, ordering all the movies up in the room on however you do that or whatever they do. After all of that is said and done, they spend about $490,000 and $500,000, right? Out of that $500,000 that they had left over. So now they have $5,000 left. So now the government taxes them on $5,000. right? So you see the poor person over here that worked at McDonald's, he got taxed on $30,000, right? That's why you can work and you make $1,000, and once they get done taxing you at that 30,000, you take home $250, right? You're looking at your check like, what they do that at, right? So the corporation is only taxed on $5,000, right? And so that really is the secret. And I'm giving you some gems here, and I'm going to tell you stuff that they don't want you to know. So don't tell them I told y'all, okay? But y'all can consider me like the Robin Hood for the poor people. I steal all the ideas from the rich people, and then I come and give them to the poor. Okay, so if you work for someone else, you are considered an employee, and the government taxes you on your gross wages. Meaning, if you work and make $30,000 a year, the government takes its cut right off the top on $30,000 a year, and you get what's left over. If you work for yourself, you're considered an employer. You own a business, you're considered an employer. The government taxes you on what is left over after you have deducted your expenses to run your business. So the government taxes you on what's left over, not what you have made. So let's go over the three types of income, starting with earned income. What doctors and nurses make, they work, right? They work a 9 to 5. Those are called, you work for your money. Those are called earned income, right? And then you have what's called portfolio income. This is when you purchase stock for $5 and you sell it for $20, right? Capital gains, right? And then the third type of income that you have is passive income, which is like property or rentals, I should say rentals. And there's no tax with that. So those are the three types of incomes that you should be aware of. Okay, so coming up, we're going to go over the different steps that you can take to build up credit on your business once you've decided that you want to be an entrepreneur. Step number 1, you're going to register your business. You're going to register your business with the Secretary of State. Let's go over that. That you can follow, right? One, you want to register a business, right? There's different structures of a business. You have what's called an LLC, you have an S Corp, and a C Corp. An LLC is a limited liability. You only need like one owner, right? Limited liability. S Corps and C Corps have more of tax breaks, but also you have to have what's called annual meetings and fill out your annual report. So it's a little bit more detail that goes in that, but the tax breaks are better, right? So if you are working a job, you want to be an entrepreneur, you can't really leave your job right now. What you want to do if you're working a job, what you want to do is you want to have deposits going into a business account. Let me backtrack because I forget I'm speaking to people who don't understand business. So I'm going to spoon feed you like a baby so that you can understand it. We'll move you to solid foods later on, right? And by the way, please like this video right now. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, okay? Back to our regularly scheduled program. You first want to go register your business, right? If your name of your company, you have to come up with a name. If the name of your company is ABC123 Help Me, you need to go and see if that name is available. If it is, register it at your Secretary of State, right? So you register the business. Once you register the business, what you then want to do is you want to get an EIN number. An EIN number is called an Employee Identification Number. That is what you use for tax income reasons with the Internal Revenue Service, right? And I did a video on what the Internal Revenue Service is all about. So y'all might want to go check out that video. I believe the video is called Wage Slave, right? So go check out that video if you haven't seen it. So you're going to need an EIN number. After you get an EIN number, you then want to get a business bank account. Now, business bank accounts, it costs a lot of money, $500 maybe to $1,000 to have a business bank account. And for some of them, you have to have a minimum like $500 to $1,000. Now, let's just say you're working a job, you work at McDonald's, you can't really afford a business account. I'm going to help you out here and give you some more secrets of the business, okay? What you can do, don't tell them I told you this. What you can do is you can open up a checking account, right? Open up a checking account. And by the way, you want to have 5 business accounts, okay? 5. You want to have a operating and expense account. You want to have a reserve account. You want to have a taxes account where you're going to pay your taxes out of. You want to have a marketing account, and you want to have a business innovation account. Those 5, right? So if you can't afford the business account, what you can do is you can open up those as checking account, regular checking account, right? The bank is not going to like me telling you this, but y'all my people, so I'm going to help y'all out here. So those 5 accounts, if you can't afford to open them up as business accounts, open them up as regular checking accounts, right? And give them the nicknames, right? If you go to the bank and you say, hey, this is a checking account, this is a personal checking account, and I want to name it an operating and expense account. They say, oh, no, you can't do that. They're lying. Don't believe me, go to another bank. They're lying, okay? But let's just usurp that. Let's just say they're trying to block you because, again, they want you to be broke. That's the name of this video. They want you to be broke. So they have provisions in place to ensure that you stay broke, right? But we're getting ready to break the curse of poverty off of our lives, right? So if you're not able to do it at the bank, what you can do is go online, open up the checking account in your name, go online, pull up your account. There's a little icon in maybe like in the right hand corner. It's going to say profile, right? So you want to go to the profile, and in the settings of that profile is going to be name. And somewhere in where the name is going to have nickname. And that's where you go and put that nickname. Operate. So you have those 5 business accounts, and I'll go over them again. You have your operating expense account. You have your reserve account, which is your savings account, okay? You need to have a reserve, which is savings. You also need to have your tax account. This is how much money that you will need to pay. You also need a marketing account in terms of, how to market your business account. And then you have innovative services and products, right? So how you will expand the business. So those 5 business accounts, every business owner should have. And again, I gave you those Robinhood secrets in terms of how you can get those accounts if you cannot afford to have business accounts. This concludes part 1 of this video. Stay tuned for part 2, where we go over Paydex credit scores, the 3 different credit bureaus, including the 4th major player, Duns & Bradstreet, and you don't want to miss this. Also, we cover trade lines, how to get them, which ones are the best for starting out your business, and also how to get business loans and credit cards. So stay tuned for part 2. If this is where we part ways, then thank you so much for tuning into my video. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in part 2. Thank you.